Hello, welcome back to Jimbo's PC Builds. Today it's time to do another case review. So as always with the case reviews, we will do, well, I'll show you the components because I'm doing a build at the same time. I'll show you the components I'm going to put in, then I'll unbox the case, we'll have a walk round, we'll have the build montage, and then final at the end I'll give you my final thoughts and conclusions on the case. Alright, without further ado, let's have a look at the components that we're going to put in this build. So first and foremost, the case I'm going to use for the review is the Lnacool 216. So that's the case I'm going to look at today. Now the build I'm going to put in it is kind of like, I'm going to use parts that I've previously used. So we're going to have a Core i7-10700K. It's the CPU that I used to have in my test bench, as is the Prime Z490A, which is the old motherboard from my test bench. There you go. And in keeping with that, and keeping with the Intel theme, I'm going to put an Arc A750. I think with, you know, Intel's troubles right now, I think they could do with a bit of better publicity, so I thought, oh, you know, I'll throw them a bone and put an Intel build in. Only kidding. It's just because this is what was in my test bench. The other thing I'm going to use some Corsair memory that I have lying around. I haven't got the box for it, so I've not got it here. And I'm going to use an Accura Elite 360 V3, which is a cooler that Thermaltake kindly sent over, so I'm going to include that in this build. So without further ado, let's unbox the case and have a walk round to see what it looks like inside, what we've got to play with when we do the build. And then from that, I'll move on to the build. All right, on to the unboxing and quick look round of the case. So the first thing that comes in the box is your box of accessories, which it looks like a drive cage, screws, then you've got the instruction manual, piece of polystyrene, and that's what you get in there. So pretty bog standard stuff. Let's get the case out and have a good look. By the way, the case is well packed. It uses polystyrene in the ends, which I'm not a big fan of, unfortunately, but it was pretty secure, so not too bad. All right, so let's now have a quick look at it, and then we'll walk around the case. So you have the standard glass panel. Let's take it off to see how it comes off. It looks like it's got a thumb screw at the top, which we have to undo, which is extremely tightly done. I'll have to get a screwdriver and open it up. The screw is captive, which is nice. And then the door pulls towards you. So inside, we have two rubber grommets here for passing cables through. Your standard motherboard mount. Inside, we've got one exhaust fan at the back, and we've got two large, look like 140s. In the front, so that's nice. Two 140s. They look like RGB. The back one is not RGB, but the front two are. At the bottom, you've got two mounts for fans, which looks like you can remove, so you can put extra fans on there. And there's also a very fine mesh on the bottom, so if you've got fans here, then the air can come in through the bottom and go towards your graphics card. On the back, usual fare, hole for your power supply, your expansion cards, and your motherboard faceplate. Let's go on to the back. Again, the screw is extremely tight at the top. Again, it is captive, and the plate just pulls straight off. So in the back, let's look what connectors we get. Looks like we get a USB 2, USB-C, which is nice. We get USB 1, a front audio, and we have a fan controller and an RGB controller. Looks like you can take up to maybe 4 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like, yeah, 4 fans can go via, and obviously if you had splitter you can go by more. Cable routing, you've got a good metal channel, good plastic channels down the side here for routing towards your CPU power. You've got tie points here as well, so you can run the cable up and down and back towards your PSU. You've got a drive cage already here with pull outs, which is nice, which slide in and I slide out. This seems to be, well, I was going to say fairly easily, but I can't get it back in. Give me a second. I'll put it back in later. Either way, it came out really easy, but getting it back in seems a bit of a pain. Cable ties on this side, you've got ones for your front panel connectors coming here. You've also got channels, and they go through one Velcro tie like that, but there's also a channel behind the Velcro tie. It's like a P-shaped curve which you can go behind on the other side. And as I say, you've got metal, you've got the rubber grommets there. So cable management looks pretty decent. All right, let's go to the front. On the front of the case, you've got a fine mesh. Yes, you saw earlier where we looked at the front panel connectors. You've got USB-C to USB-A. Looks like you've got a combined audio jack. You've got what I would say would be a control for RGB, and then you've got your power button. So let's see how easy the front panel comes off. That's very easy. A pretty good mesh. The airflow is pretty decent, so I think you should get decent airflow. It should catch some dust because there's no additional filters for the dust either. It looks like to take the fans out, there looks like a front panel connection at some point. They look like they're on a mount system, so I'll check that out as part of the build. I'm probably going to leave these in, so I won't need to take them out. Alright, that's a walkthrough of the case. Now let's get on with the build montage. So as you can see behind me, the build is complete. I am going to take the camera off the stand and give you now a quick walk round of the build so you can see what it looks like on the back up close and also inside. Alright, so let's do that quick walk round. So the cable management of the back came out really well. The two channels were like a bit of an S. So you've got the Velcro on this side and then you've got sort of solid plastic on the other. I didn't put anything else on this side apart from the cables that were already there. The channels that go across the bottom were really handy. The controller across the top, the original wires were all tied up, so I had to untie them at first, then connect them to the motherboard. All the other ones came down these plastic channels, which I didn't realise at the time could unscrew, which was actually quite handy. Also, taking the top panel off really helped with trying to get like power connectors in at the top and stuff like that, which was also very good. Putting the power supply in wasn't the problem. I didn't need to remove the drive cage. If we go on the inside, came out really well. The only thing is with the ARC graphics card, where the thing's located, I used the rubber grommets to bring the GPU power. I may move them so they come from underneath, because when they come from the side you get a lot of bulk, so I may move them to the side to make it look a bit neater. Putting the IAO in with taking that top panel off was very easy, but all in all I think it came out really well. So you've seen the initial look at the case out the box, you've had the build montage, you've had a quick walkthrough. So now we've got my final thoughts and conclusion on the case. Is it a good case? Absolutely. What it says to me, this case, is every time that like Lian Li have done like the 200 series, the Lnacool series, they've learned from every iteration they've done on how to add features to the case without increasing the cost. So for instance, the likes on the 216 with the really good cable channels, features they've added with just putting the brackets in the right place and adding simple Velcro, which has made building in the case and doing your cable management a darn sight easier. Adding the top that comes off, which is more of a premium feature associated with other cases, that makes life a lot easier. For instance, I put to get the AIO in, being able to take this off easily and put the CPU power cables in was a lot easier, because I just thread them through and connect them up. Just small little features like that have made this a really easy case to build in. In my initial walk round, I said the thumb screws at the back were to take the panels off. They're not. The panels just pop on and off. They've got little nubs here which could pop in and out, so you just have to pull them in, pull them out. The screws on the back are for taking the top off, so keep that in mind. But yeah, taking the panels off is easy. Taking this top panel off is easy. You know, you could point the finger and say you could have more modular activities, but for the price of this case, because this is a relatively budget case, it tends to hover around just over $100. What you're getting is amazing, and building in it is an absolute doddle. Putting the AIO in was no hassle whatsoever. So yeah, it's a great case. I've done some limited testing in terms of temperatures, and with the two big fans you get on the front, they're pretty quiet. They're not that loud, which is great, but they do supply a good amount of air. As I said when I went the case walkthrough, the mesh on the front is quite open, so it does allow a lot of air in, so air went into the case. Apart from sticking the AO in the top, I've not added any other cooling to this case, and the temperatures were pretty good. And I think, to be honest, with a case like this, the build in it reflects the kind of money. You're not going to spend just over $100 on a case unless you're on a specific budget. If you're going to put, like, I don't know, a 4090 in this, realistically, I think it would fit fine. I'm not sure if the included fans would be able to cope with that level of hardware. I haven't tested it, so it'd be very difficult to say, but it might do. I can't say for certain, but build wise, everything else wise, the case is fantastic, and I would recommend this case. Absolutely, I would. All right, I hope you found all that information useful. If you did, please subscribe to the channel because all subscribers are welcome. You know, the more I get, the merrier. It doesn't cost you anything. It's one click. And then also, if you hit the bell notification as well, my cadence of videos isn't that frequent. I try and do one video a month. So if you hit the notification bell, when I do get a video out, you'll be notified of it, which means you'll be able to see my content a lot easier. Also, if you did find the information useful and you liked the video, please toss a like on. Also, please ask questions or put comments in the comment section below if you've got anything to do with the case or anything else. Also, if you do hit dislike, please could you leave a comment in the section as well to highlight why you didn't like the video and what we could do to improve. All right, that's all the YouTube stuff out of the way. I hope you're having a great day, and as always, take care.